Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of Fallout 4 Mods Showcase. I've got some great mods to show off to you this week. We have really fantastic retexture, some pretty sweet clothes for our old pal Dogmeat, really nice showing for an ENB. And we've got one mod that's a little bit of a surprise, so stay tuned because you don't want to miss that. So without further ado, let's get this started. The first mod up this week is Dogmeat's Backpack by Higeyosi. And what this mod does, in short, is it adds a couple of equipable backpacks that can be put on Dogmeat. To start off with, it should be noted that this mod does require the Armor and Weapon Keywords Community Resource, aka AWKCR. However, I'm not entirely sure if that is required simply to have the ability to craft these backpacks, or if you could also install this mod and use the console to spawn them. I'm not sure on that, but I'm sure you probably could. And while we're on that subject, with AWKCR installed, you are able to craft these backpacks for Dogmeat at the Armorsmith workbench added by that mod. And you can craft them in either 50 carry weight, 100 carry weight, or 150 carry weight, which will then be added to Dogmeat when he has the backpacks equipped. Um, they look absolutely fantastic. I love the way Dogmeat looks when he's wearing them. It fits right in with everything else in the game, all the dog armors and everything else that you can equip on Dogmeat. And I think the best thing about it is that there is now, a sort of immersive way to explain why Dogmeat is able to carry all of the junk in the entirety of the wasteland. Myself, I actually preferred using just the smallest one, the 50 carry weight, because in my opinion, in the vanilla game, Dogmeat is already able to carry just way too much for a dog who doesn't have any pockets or, clothing or anything like that. I don't know where he puts it, and frankly, I don't want to know. Absolutely fantastic mod. Looks great and obviously has a fair bit of functionality to it as well, which is always a plus. The next mod up this week is Lore Accurate Holodisk Holotapes by SkyeShark. And what this mod does, as you may have guessed, is it retextures the holotapes in Fallout 4 to look a little bit more like the holodisks that have been in previous Fallout games, going all the way back to the original Fallout, actually. They all had a pretty similar look. Specifically, what this mod adds is it adds the reels back to the center of the holotape, like in the original. The texture on these is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely wonderful work in that department by the mod author. You probably don't need to use the 4K version like I did. Because you're never going to be this close to the holotapes. Obviously, there wouldn't be any reason to. And actually, without extremely lowering your depth of field, it's actually impossible to get this close up to a holotape, but nevertheless, very, very well done indeed by the mod author. Very, very detailed, and they look absolutely awesome. Another really great thing that this mod adds that I thought was really just sort of the cherry on top with this is it adds a little Watts Electronic logo to the corner of the holotape too, which makes it even more lore friendly because the holotapes were always made by the Watts Electronics company. So very, very cool little extra feature there. I like it a lot. Fantastic mod, just a little sort of extra retexture, but looks absolutely fantastic. Brings one of the common items back to a look that we're all a little bit more familiar with, and I absolutely love it. Great work. The next mod up today comes with a little bit of a disclaimer. Well, not really a disclaimer. It's more of a question you need to ask yourself before you download and install it. And the question you need to ask yourself is, are you in fact not afraid of no ghosts? That's right. That is the Ghostbusters X-01 paint and jumpsuit by Benevon. And as you can see, this mod adds a Ghostbusters themed paint for your X-01 power armor and also the Ghostbusters jumpsuits into the game. And this mod is absolutely awesome. This was one of those mods where when I saw it on the Nexus, I just had one of those total geek out moments, and I just couldn't resist installing it and checking it out. So the paint job for the X-01 Power Armor is standalone and completely custom. It doesn't add any bonuses by applying it to your X-01 Power Armor, but to be fair, it doesn't cost any materials either, so doesn't really matter. Just paint yourself up like the Ecto-1 or the Ecto-111 as the case is in this mod. As I said, it also adds the Ghostbusters jumpsuit, Peter Venkman's actually to be totally accurate, and the jumpsuit is crafted at the chemical workstation and adds +2 intelligence and +2 luck. The textures on the jumpsuit are not extremely high res or anything to write home about, but I mean, who cares? It looks awesome, and when you're far away, it looks just fine. I mean, it has the texture of the regular jumpsuits in the game, and it's got the Ghostbusters guy on it, man. Who cares? It's awesome. Just a superb mod for any Ghostbusters fans out there. It made me laugh when I saw it. It looks great, and I just love it. Can't say enough about it. And finally, this week, I took a look at Photorealistic Commonwealth by Lou. And this is a combination of ENB and a reshade. The first thing that I want to talk about with this ENB is the depth of field, which is absolutely amazing. It uses the ENB depth of field, so there isn't any blurring of the UI elements like you get with a reshade. And the thing that I like about it the most of all is that it's not too harsh. It's just the right amount of depth of field. You don't get too much blurring in front of your face when you're just walking around, but you do get a nice blur effect around close-up objects. It looks really, really nice. As far as colors go with this ENB, you get a bit of a bluish hue to things in darker scenes like at night or in the rain, giving it a nice cool and serene look. In the daylight, this ENB actually has almost an opposite effect, in which the scene is much more brighter and the color is much more photo accurate, much more photorealistic as it was designed to be. All of the color and texture additions made by this ENB really result in a much sharper image, which I don't really know enough on the technical side of ENB or reshade to be able to explain why that is. But that is definitely something that I noticed in playing around with this ENB. Just all of the scenes were just much, much sharper and much better looking and much more photorealistic, which clearly was the intent behind it. At the end of the day, a really fantastic ENB. I'm really in love with this one. The changes that it makes to the way the game looks, I think, are exactly as it was set out to be, much more photorealistic looking and not as cartoony and overly colorful as the vanilla game is. Great work by Lou, and an excellent ENB that I think that I'm going to keep around for a little while. And that wraps it up for this week's episode of Fallout 4 Mod Showcase. Thank you all for joining me. I do hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a like down below. And also, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button too while you're down there. That way you'll never miss out on any episodes of this series or any other videos I put out. As always, I do want to remind you, if you do download and enjoy any of the mods featured in this episode, make sure you head back over to the Nexus pages and give the mod authors an endorsement as well. But with all that stuff being said, I am out of here, and I will see you all in the next video.